We have yet another leak coming from the Podesta emails, and this is not good news for any of the folks involved here, including Donna Brazile, who is now the head of the DNC. Oh boy. She was a CNN pundit before. It's not great for the Democratic Party overall, and it is definitely not good for CNN. Because in the emails, we have what appears to be a clear storyline. Now, Brazile and the others are fighting back against this. I'll give you their point of view as well. But first, in the emails, it appears that Donna Brazile is sending a heads up to the Clinton campaign through Podesta and the others, saying from time to time, I get the questions in advance, referring to what appears to be a town hall event that they are going to do. Now, the reply there, as you can see, is, hi, yes, it is one she gets asked about, referring to the death penalty question. Not everyone likes her answer, but can share it. And then to a particular aide, can you send her an answer on the death penalty? Now, the very end of that is going to help Donna Brazile's defense a little bit. But so far, this doesn't look good. You've got somebody saying, hey, I get some of the questions in advance. Clinton team, here you go, have at it, Hoss. At the time, Donna Brazile's working at CNN. The town hall is going to be on CNN. Oh, boy. Now, she then includes the question. And so you've got this very long question about the death penalty. I just want to show it to you real quick. A part of that is going to be very relevant in a second. But it says, here's the one that worries me about Hillary Rodham Clinton, and it has the death penalty question there. Now, when Donna Brazile's asked about that today, she's furiously denies that this has anything to do with giving a heads up to the Clinton team. And she says, number one, she would never do that. Number two, she was just trying to prepare herself for a roundtable discussion that was going to happen on CNN and asking the Clinton team, hey, if I get asked about this, what is the Clinton position? Okay. And then she adds, I refuse to open them, these meaning all these different leaked emails. And I've asked the staff at the DNC and all of our Democratic allies, don't open up that crap because it's postmarked from Russia. Now, to me, that's two separate issues. Now, you want to say, hey, it's wrong to hack these emails and let's find out the people who did it. Okay, I hear you. And especially if it's a foreign government, that's relevant. Now, if it's whistleblowers, I think that's a different story. If it's a foreign government and they're trying to affect our election, I think that's pretty important stuff, and that's an issue we should look at. But does that mean we should just close our eyes and not look at the emails? No. This isn't somebody hacking in and getting nude pictures of a celebrity. Well, that's their private business, and we shouldn't be hacking into that. And no one should, I don't think we should even discuss that, right? And we've had long conversations about that. But this is affects our government. This is very important. We cannot close our eyes to this, especially if a giant media organization is working in some ways in conjunction with one of the campaigns. We can't unsee that. And just blaming the Russians isn't going to make the problem go away. So now, CNN denies this furiously as well. They say, to be perfectly clear, we have never, ever given a town hall question to anyone beforehand. Now notice they say a town hall question, because I think that is going to be relevant here in figuring out what actually happened. Now, a Democratic Party insider says, according to the Business Insider, however, according to a top Democratic Party source familiar with the exchange, Brazile's emails were not referencing a question at the town hall. Instead, the question Brazile forwarded on to Palmieri, who was handling communications for Clinton and who's the person who responded to the emails, was a topic for conversation on a panel that Brazile was set to appear on. Now, those denials were so thorough, so aggressive, and especially when they say, hey, maybe she's getting ready for a panel she's going to have on CNN, seems somewhat credible that they got me to think maybe this wasn't nefarious. Maybe she was just trying to get their talking points so that she could use them on air. Donna Brazile could use them on air. But wait. If you notice, the email to Donna Brazile had this line in it. It said, according to the National Coalition to Abolish the Death Penalty, since 1973, 156 people have been on death row and later set free. Now, as a prelude to the person in the town hall asking the question. Roland Martin, who was moderating, said this: Secretary Clinton, since 1976, we have executed 1,414 people in this country. Since 1973, 156 who were convicted have been exonerated from death row. This gentleman here is one of them. And then he takes it over to the person who's going to ask the question. Now, if you just follow along, those two lines are enormously similar. That's the question that Donna Brazile forwarded over to the Clinton team, saying that I get these questions in advance. Then Roland Martin uses that same setup before the man asks the town hall question. Is that appear to be the topic that CNN is going to bring up in a town hall event sent over to the Clinton team? It certainly appears that way. That is pretty damning. Now, they could talk circles around that, but as I look at those two lines that appear to be nearly identical, you're going to have a hell of a time convincing me or anyone else that you weren't forwarding that question. So why did I say it was important that CNN says, we never forward the town hall questions? My guess is that their excuse internally is, no, we're not lying. We didn't forward the actual town hall participants' question to Hillary Clinton's team. Maybe Roland Martin's prelude got forwarded, but we didn't forward the actual question. Oh, yeah. You can do any kind of loopholes you like. But no, what you forwarded is exactly what Roland Martin said on CNN. So yes, you forwarded the question to them. Unless there's something we're not seeing, that is obvious. So you keep going around in circles, but you're not going to get anyone to buy it. Okay, Donna Brazile, let me be fair to her, give her one more denial of this. She says, as a longtime political activist with deep ties to our party, I supported all of our candidates for president. Maybe so, maybe not. We saw in some of the other leaks that she thought that the Sanders people were not acting rationally, according to, and I'm being polite with her words there. Anyway, she goes on to say, I often shared my thoughts with each and every campaign, and any suggestions that indicate otherwise are simply untrue. As it pertains to the CNN debates, I never had access to questions and would never have shared them with candidates if I did. I've got to say, looking at the email you forwarded and looking at the question set up by Roland Martin, not buying it. I think you did forward the question. I think that is outrageous. That is exactly how the mainstream media supports Hillary Clinton. Now, is it a conspiracy? Did the CNN executives tell Donna Brazile to do this? No, I would be very surprised by that. I say no, I don't know, but I would be surprised. Is it the fact that CNN and mainstream media are, by definition, insiders, and all they ever hire is insiders? So the building is littered with people who are part of the establishment, the Democratic establishment, the Republican establishment, former communication directors, former White House spokespeople, former campaign heads, and the list goes on and on and on. So would it be surprising that they share the same opinion as establishment candidates? Of course it's not surprising. Well, is it surprising that at some point somebody might say, hey, here's a heads up to what might be coming your way? No, not surprising. Are they going to do that for non-establishment candidates? No, because they don't know them, they don't care about them, they're not attached to them, they didn't work for them before. So at best, they're going to have indifference towards them. But they're not going to feed them the questions because they're not as like-minded with them as they are with the Hillary Clinton team. Now, Bernie Sanders, not an establishment candidate. To be fair, Donald Trump, not an establishment candidate. On the other hand, as soon as Donald Trump came close to the establishment, he wins the nomination. What does CNN do? They invite his people into the building, Corey Lewandowski, etc. Might we one day find out something similar from their camp? We might, because that's what CNN does. They hire nonstop establishment people who then, we're shocked and chagrined to find out, help the establishment. Of course that's how it works. Now look, I got nothing against Donna Brazile as a person. She's been nice to me, but that's not what this is about. You've got to call it like it is. Roland Martin's a great guy, had nothing to do with any of this. He doesn't know any of the emails going on. He reads the prelude to the question as he's supposed to. There's nothing wrong with that. And the first person to break this story is actually our Jordan Chariton, our reporter on the scene. His tweets see these, he sends them out, Mediaite and the rest of the press then pick it up. So great job by him. Everybody check out his work on TYT Politics, youtube.com/TYT Politics. This isn't personal. Our job is to find out the news and to report it. You don't have to dislike these people. But at the same time, we're not just going to sit by and accept the system. We're not going to say, well, okay, of course, well, CNN is the news agency. They're the ones who should do all the town halls. They're the ones who should do all the debates. And they should stack everyone that works there with almost everyone who works there as establishment people. And of course they should do that. And of course they should work together. And of course we should all take it. No, we should not take it. So if you thought this from time to time, the mainstream media helps the mainstream politicians, it turns out you were right all along. Young Turks. If you're upset with mainstream media, we have the alternative for you. Come build independent media with us. Your membership powers the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.